The Lost World. Francis de Wolff, Kevin McHugh, Gerald Harper and Carlton Hobbs in a three-part serial adapted from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's novel by Peggy Wells and Barry Campbell. Part 1. The Monster of Enmore Park. London, 1907.
It all began quietly enough in the little parlour of a house at Streatham. For an hour or more that evening, I had been forced to listen to Mr. Hungerton, the father of the girl I loved. He seemed to believe that I came round to the Chestnuts 3 days a week, simply for the pleasure of his company, to hear him talk about bad money driving out good and the true standards of exchange. However, now I was alone with Gladys at last, and the moment of fate had come. There Gladys sat, aloof as a goddess, with a dreamy look in her eyes and her profile outlined against the red curtain. How beautiful she was, and how very remote. But come what might, I must speak.
You're looking very thoughtful, Ned.
Gladys, I mean to say...
I have a feeling you are going to propose, Ned. I do wish you wouldn't. Things are so much nicer as they are.
How did you know I was going to propose?
Don't women always know? Oh, Ned, what a pity to spoil our friendship. Don't you feel how splendid it is that we can talk face to face as we have talked?
Well, I can talk face to face with the station master, but that doesn't satisfy me in the least. I want... Oh, Gladys, I want...
No, Ned, stop. You've spoiled everything. It's all so beautiful and natural until this kind of thing comes in. It's such a pity.
It's nature. It's love.
Well, perhaps if both love, it may be different. I have never felt it.
Why can't you love me, Gladys? What's wrong with me?
I'm in love with somebody else, Ned.
To tell the truth, Gladys, I was afraid of that.
Oh, no, Ned, please don't look like that. It's nobody in particular.
Nobody in particular? But you said...
It's an ideal, Ned. A glorious, magnificent ideal. Oh, this man I'm thinking about, I wish I could describe him to you.
Well, what does he look like? What does he do that I can't do?
Please, Ned.
Teetotaler, vegetarian, theosophist, Superman. By George, I'll even have a shot at flying the channel. Just tell me what would please you.
In the first place, Ned, I don't think my ideal would speak quite like that.
Why not?
He would be harder, sterner. He would be a man who could look death in the face and have no fear. He would be a man of great deeds and strange experiences.
Hang it all, Gladys, I'm Edward Malone, a reporter on the Daily Gazette, earning £3, 10 shillings a week. Where would I run into any great deeds and strange experiences?
That's just it, Ned. You're so prosaic.
And you don't want me to be prosaic. Is that it?
Well, my ideal would never be that. He wouldn't be content with the work he happened to be doing. He'd go out and look for adventures. He'd make his own chances. Oh, think of Burton. Think of Stanley.
We can't all be Burtons or Stanleys, I'm afraid.
You, Ned, with your newspaper work. Now, when you described that coal mine explosion last week, why couldn't you have gone down into the pit and helped those people who were trapped?
I did.
You did? But you never said so.
There was nothing worth bragging about.
Oh, I didn't know, Ned. Well, that was brave of you.
I had to. If you want to write good copy, you must be where things are.
Oh, Ned, there it is again. Such a prosaic motive. I dare say I'm being foolish, but it's so real to me, so much a part of myself. If I do marry, I want to marry a famous man.
And why shouldn't you marry a famous man, Gladys? If I get a chance, Gladys, I will...
Please, Ned. Someday, perhaps. When you've won your place in the world, we shall talk it over again.
By George, we will. I'll make a chance, Gladys. I'll tackle my editor first thing tomorrow morning. Oh, McArdle's not a bad sort. I'm sure he'll help me if he can. Yes, Gladys, I'll make a chance and prove myself worthy of you. You see if I don't.
Come in. Lush, lad. You needn't break the door down. What is it?
May I have a very serious word with you, Mr. McHugh?
Lad, what about?
I want to ask you a favor.
Your salary, Mr. Malone, is
It
already...
wasn't about my salary.
No, it wasn't about your salary, Mr. Malone. Then what is it about?
I want to break my neck.
What?
Not exactly that, but I want to justify my life. Do you think, sir, you could possibly send me on a special mission for the paper?
Special mission, Mr. Malone? Well, what sort of special mission had you in mind?
Anything with adventure and danger in it. 2,000 miles in a balloon, over the Himalayas, down in the pyramids. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure, Mr. Malone. I do know what you mean. I mean, these special missions are very expensive.
I know that, sir.
And they want a writer with a name that will justify the expense. But I have got a wee assignment for you that may just be the thing. Now, what do you say to a nice interview?
Interview, sir?
Oh, come, lad, you needn't look so dashed. You haven't heard the name of the man you're yet to interview.
Well, sir?
Professor George Edward Challenger of Enmore Park.
Professor Challenger? The famous zoologist?
Aye.
But, look here, sir. Isn't that the man who broke the head of the chap from the Daily Telegraph?
Yes.
And threw the Morning Post reporter down 2 flights of stairs?
Yes.
And broke his spectacles and danced on his hat?
Aye, he doesn't like reporters, you can.
But why do we want an interview with Professor Challenger?
To show up an impostor, Mr. Malone, to expose a modern Munchausen, insulting the sacred name of science.
But look here, he's no impostor. He's quite a scientific bigwig. Got a string of degrees after his name, an international reputation.
A grand international reputation. On the last occasion a debate in Vienna, they had to call on the police. Oh, I've got his record here, with his published works, and a fine, stimulating record it is.
All the same, sir. Why do you call him an impostor?
Because of this South American business.
What South American business?
Well, the Skellum claims to have discovered, what is it? A lost world.
A lost world, sir?
A lost world up the Amazon, full of prehistoric monsters and dinosaurs 50 feet high. But it would make a grand exposure story if you could get in to see him.
You think I can't manage to see him, sir?
I dinna ken, Mr. Malone.
You say you've got his published works, sir?
Aye.
What are they?
Some observations upon a series of Calmuck skulls, outlines of vertebrate evolution, the underlying fallacy of Weissmanism. And here is an account of the row at Vienna. It was about Weissmanism, if you ken what that is.
Give me an account of the row at Vienna.
Well, what do you want to do with it, lad?
Give it to me.
Oh, you won't understand 2 words of it.
That doesn't matter. All I want is a sentence.
What sentence?
Any sentence.
Well, here it is. See for yourself.
Good Lord.
I told you so. Yourn is jargon. Scientific jargon.
This will do. Mr. McArdle, I think I found the answer. I'm going to write a letter.
Dear Professor Challenger, as a humble student of nature, I have always taken the most profound interest in your speculations as to the difference between Darwinism and Weissmanism. I have recently had occasion to refresh my memory by rereading your masterly address at Vienna. That lucid and admirable statement seems to be the last word on the matter. There is one sentence, however, where you say, I protest strongly against the insufferable and entirely dogmatic assertion that each separate id is a microcosm possessed of an historical architecture.
Elaborated slowly through the series of generations. Have you no desire, Professor, in view of later research, to modify that statement? No. I have certain suggestions which I can only explain in a personal conversation. With your permission, I trust to have the honor of calling on you at 11 o'clock the day after tomorrow, Wednesday morning. I remain, sir, with assurances of profound respect, yours very sincerely, Edward D. Malone. Oh. Austin! Austin! Where the devil is the fellow?
You called, sir?
Yes, I did. Twice. Now listen. At exactly 11 o'clock this morning, a gentleman calling himself Malone will present himself at the front door and ask to see me.
I understand, sir. I shall send him away.
Don't speak until you're spoken to, sir. You do not understand. When this Mr. Malone arrives, you will show him in. I am rather interested to know just who Mr. Malone is and what Mr. Malone is after. Ha! Modify my opinions, indeed.
Yes, sir. Good morning. My name is Malone. I have an appointment. Well, a kind of appointment with Professor Challenger.
The professor is expecting you, sir. If you will kindly follow me.
Thank you.
Austin? Austin, did I hear someone at the door?
Yes, madam. Mr. Malone, madam.
I have an appointment with your...
Shh. Yes, I know. Please, keep your voice down. Oh, dear. Mr. Malone, may I ask, have you ever met my husband before?
No.
Then I must apologize to you in advance and tell you that he is a perfectly impossible person. If you are forewarned, you will be more ready to make allowances.
Allowances?
Yes. Now, get out of the room quickly if he seems inclined to be violent. Don't wait to argue with him. I suppose it wasn't about South America you wanted to see him, was it?
Why, yes, it was.
Oh, dear.
Mrs. Challenger! This is George Edward Challenger.
Oh, there he is now. Yes, George, dear?
I am, I trust, a man of singularly docile and reasonable mind.
Oh, yes, dear, of course.
Yet if there is one thing I cannot abide, it is whispering outside doors. It interrupts my work. And to interrupt my work, I might point out, is scarcely fair to posterity.
I'm sorry, George, dear. It was only that
My work, I fear, is destined to interruption. I am expecting this morning a visitor. I know nothing of this visitor, except that he will be ignorant in mind and perhaps revolting in appearance.
Yeah, wait a minute.
He's just arrived, George, dear. He's here now.
Indeed, I fancied as much. Then be good enough to send him in.
Goodbye, Mr. Malone. After all, well...
Yes, Mrs. Challenger?
You do look big enough to take care of yourself. And remember, just get out of the room if he seems inclined to be violent. And if he starts talking about South America, please don't contradict him. In you go now.
I pushed aside the partly open door and walked, somewhat apprehensively, into the room. The professor was sitting in a swivel chair behind a broad table, which was covered with maps and diagrams. As I entered, he spun round to face me. I was prepared for something strange, but not for so overpowering a personality as this. It was his size which took one's breath away. His size and his imposing presence. His head was the largest I have ever seen upon a human being. He had the face and beard which I associated with that of an Assyrian bull. His eyes, which were blue-gray under great black eyebrows, were very clear, very critical, and very masterful. A huge spread of shoulders and a chest like a barrel were the other parts of him which appeared above the table. And I must confess that his appearance made me gasp with surprise.
Well, young man?
Well, sir.
What do you mean, sir, well, sir? What the devil are you staring at?
Well, sir, you are rather impressive.
Impressive, eh?
Yes, sir.
Well, yes. Yes, perhaps impressive is the right word. Majestic, if I may say so, might be an even better one. But we are not here, young man, to discuss the effect of greatness on its underlings.
No, sir.
You were good enough, I believe, to write me a letter and to approve my general views regarding Weissmanism.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That strengthens my position very much. But you had, I think, some comments to make on the proposition I advanced. Come, Mr. Malone, speak up.
I am, of course, a mere student, really just an earnest inquirer.
What comments, Mr. Malone?
It did seem to me you were a little severe on Weissman in this matter. Hasn't the general evidence since that day tended to strengthen his position?
What evidence, Mr. Malone?
I mean, I alluded to the trend of modern thought, to the general scientific point of view. Why are you looking at me like that?
I suppose you are aware, young man, that the cranial index is a constant factor?
Naturally, sir.
Yes. And the question of telegony is still sub judice?
Undoubtedly, sir. I've always said so.
Yes, yes. And the germplasm is different from the parthenogenetic egg?
Why, surely.
But what does that prove?
Ah, what indeed? What does it prove?
Shall I tell you?
Please do.
It proves, sir, that you are the rankest impostor in London, a bile-crawling journalist, here under false pretenses. Gibberish. That's what I've been talking to you, sir. You think you could match cunning with me? You with your walnut of a brain? Why, you infernal...
Now, wait a minute, Professor. Please wait. Sit down.
To say that I would like to cut your heart out and stuff it like a Christmas turkey would be beneath my dignity. I shall begin, therefore, in a more decorous way. You observe this plaster bust of Socrates, which has always seemed to me of somewhat doubtful aesthetic value?
Now, look here, sir. Just let me explain.
I shall begin by discharging this bust with an erring aim at your head.
George! George, what's happening? Stop this at once!
Keep out of this, Mrs. George Edward Challenger. Keep out of this.
I won't keep out of this! George, what on earth are you going to do?
I propose, Mrs. C., to take this young man by the neck and expel him forcibly from the house.
You put your hands on me, sir, and you'll bloody well wish you hadn't.
Will I so, young man? Will I so?
Wait for me, Professor. What chance have you got? I'm 15 stone place and 3/4 every Saturday for the London Irish. I'm not a man.
Malone! Look out! Austin, open the front door!
The front door is open, madam. I anticipated some such eventuality.
Would you raise your fist to me? By God, I'll throw you down the front stairs. Take that, you infernal script.
Oh, my eye!
Blast you! No, you infernal bully! Take that!
Austin, they'll be killed! They've fallen down the front steps. We must separate them. Come along quickly.
That will not be necessary, madam. I see from the window that both the professor and the young man are on their feet again, and apparently unharmed, except that, oh dear me, the young man appears to have acquired a black eye.
Well, go and try to persuade the professor to come in at once before someone sends for the police.
That will not be necessary either, madam, since I perceive that there is a constable already on the scene.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Now then, what's all this?
This man attacked me.
You will oblige me, Constable, by removing your obnoxious presence from what I must designate as a purely private scene of acrimony.
I don't know what that means, Professor Challenger, but I do see this young gent with a black eye, and it's not the first time this has happened by a long chalk. Well, sir?
Oh, it's all right. We had a bit of a row. This man let fly at me.
Oh, I bet he did, sir. He's been doing nothing else for the past 2 years. You give him in charge?
Well,
Do you give him in charge, sir?
No, I don't.
What's that?
I was as much to blame as he was. I intruded on him. He gave me fair warning.
I see, sir. Well, Professor, don't let's have any more such goings on.
Right, move along now, move along. An interesting phenomenon. As interesting a phenomenon, indeed, as was ever discovered by GEC in his greatest days. Come back to the house, young man. Come back into the house. I've not finished with you yet. Sit down, Mr. Malone. Take that chair.
Whatever you say, Professor.
May I offer you a cigar?
Thank you.
You're excitable, young man. Very excitable.
I am excitable.
Oh, you'll oblige me, young man, by not jumping up again in that impetuous Irish fashion. Doubtless you've been wondering, with whatever small intelligence you may possess, why I invited you back into the house, eh?
I have been wondering.
Then permit me to tell you. The subspecies of the human race to which you unfortunately belong...
Subspecies of the human race?
Yes, I refer, of course, to the whole tribe of journalists.
All right, don't stick your beard out. I agree.
Oh, you agree to this self-evident truth.
Anybody who got annoyed with you, Professor, would just have to stay annoyed all the time. I agree.
This subspecies, I repeat, has always been beneath my mental notice. But in your reply to that officious policeman a moment ago, I seem to detect signs of a latent good feeling, which raised you somewhat above the level of your revolting plan. I found myself, in short, almost liking you.
Thank you.
You came here, I dare say, for some information about my explorations in South America.
Yes, Professor Challenger, I did.
You will not get that information, young man.
I was afraid of that.
Like Darwin, Galileo, and other great prophets, I have been derided. The word liar applied to George Edward Challenger is offensive to a degree which you, as a journalist, would not appreciate.
All right, all right.
It occurs to me, after several years of patient silence, that the time has come to make some public answer and proposal to my critics.
Answer, sir? What sort of answer?
There will be held this evening a public meeting at the Royal Zoological Institute's hall. Would you care for a seat on the platform among the speakers?
I don't know what you're up to, sir, but I'd appreciate it very much.
It'll be a large meeting, young man, of the utmost dignity and decorum. And my presence, of course, will be guarantee of that.
Of course.
The chairman will be the Duke of Durham. The principal speaker will be Professor Summerlee, on the record of the ages. You have perhaps heard of Professor Summerlee?
Good Lord, yes. He's as famous a zoologist as...
As I am, you were about to say.
No, not at all. Nothing like that.
You pardon my candor, young man, if I remark that Professor Summerlee has a face like a goat, and his views on the subject of vertebrate evolution would make a cat laugh.
Well, what are you going to do at the meeting, sir?
I am to move a vote of thanks to Professor Summerlee. In doing so...
Yes, sir?
I shall make it my business to point out, with infinite tact and delicacy, where I disagree with Professor Summerlee. If you care to be at that meeting, young man, I fancy that you might find it rather interesting. Yes, rather interesting.
When I arrived at the hall that night, I found a much greater concourse than I had expected. And as soon as I had taken my seat among the bigwigs on the platform, I realized that a youthful and even boyish spirit was abroad in the gallery and at the back of the hall. The medical students were out in force. I don't know what these meetings were usually like, but it struck me that this was a strange prelude to a scientific lecture.
Ladies and gentlemen, quiet, please. If you get that way, you get that style. It's a lovely one that quite a proper style. Thank you, gentlemen. It is my proud duty to introduce to you tonight's speaker, a man of the highest academic and scientific qualifications, who is, I think, well known to you all, Professor William Summerlee.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I have chosen as my subject tonight evolution.
I say.
And have entitled my lecture...
I say, young fellow, my lad.
Yes? What is it?
Well, excuse me speaking to you and all that, but, I mean, well, you haven't got a beard.
Beard? Why the devil should I have a beard?
Well, deuce take it, all the rest of these chaps have got 'em. Never saw such a collection of beards in all my born days. You're a bit young, aren't you, to be such a learned sort of bloke?
Good Lord, I don't belong here. I'm a reporter from the Daily Gazette. My name's Malone.
Ah, George, then we're two of a kind. I was feeling a bit nervous myself in all this company. My name's Roxton.
Not Lord John Roxton, the Amazon explorer, a big game hunter.
Well, I've done a bit of shooting in my time. I say, watch out. We're interrupting the old josser.
Thank you, gentlemen. Perhaps I might now be allowed to continue. Science has not succeeded to date in making organic life from inorganic material. The gulf between the dead and the living is something which our chemistry has not been able to break. And in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen,
what are you doing
I
here?
have only these few words.
Well, I heard there was going to be trouble. I wanted to see it. Look at old Challenger over there. He's positively bristling.
I know, but... Lord John, but...
Shh! We have seen the drying of the seas, the emergence of the sandbanks, the tendency of the sea creatures to take refuge on the mud flats, the abundance of food awaiting them, and their consequent enormous growth. Hence, ladies and gentlemen, that frightful brood of monsters which still affright our eyes when seen in the wielding space, but which, fortunately, were extinct long before the appearance of man on this earth.
Question?
I deny that statement.
May I inquire, Mr. Chairman, which of the gentlemen on the platform behind me spoke then?
I spoke, sir. George Edward Challenger, at your service.
Silence, please! Quiet! Gentlemen, please.
You spoke, Professor Challenger.
I spoke, Professor Summerlee.
You are discourteous, Professor Challenger.
You are inaccurate, Professor Summerlee.
I am inaccurate, sir.
You are inaccurate, sir.
In the face of such manifest absurdity, Mr. Chairman, I must ask leave to end my remarks at this point and leave matters to the distinguished Professor Challenger. Perhaps you, sir, will take my place at the reading desk.
I will do that, sir, with the greatest of pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, I beg pardon. Ladies, gentlemen, and children. I have been selected to move a vote of thanks to Professor Summerlee for the very picturesque and imaginative address to which we have just listened. Popular lectures are the easiest to listen to, but the professor will excuse me when I say that they are necessarily both superficial and misleading, since they have to be graded to the comprehension of an ignorant audience. Now, what is the particular point upon which I, as an original investigator, have challenged our lecturer's accuracy? It is upon the permanence of certain types of animal life upon the earth. Professor Summerlee is very wrong in supposing that because he has never himself seen a prehistoric animal, therefore these creatures no longer exist. How do I know, you ask me? I know because I have visited their secret haunts. I know because I have seen some of them. Am I a liar, do you think? Then I will not detain you. I will merely put you to the test. Now, will you accredit one or more of your own number to go out as your representative and test my statement in your name? Yes! Yes! Well, Professor Summerlee, will you dare to take part in an expedition to the lost world to see these creatures?
Yes, I will.
Then I guarantee that I will place in your hands such material as will enable you to find your way. I don't disguise from you that there are difficulties and dangers. You will need a younger colleague.
I'll go, Mr. Chairman, I'll go.
I'll volunteer to go. You sit down, young fella.
What is your name, sir?
Edward Malone. I'm a reporter from the Daily Gazette. I claim to be an absolutely unprejudiced witness.
And you, sir, what is your name?
I'm Lord John Roxton.
Lord John Roxton's reputation as a sportsman is world famous. At the same time, it would certainly be well to have a member of the press on such an expedition.
Then I move that both these gentlemen be elected as representatives of this meeting to accompany Professor Summerlee on his journey.
Well, young fella, so we're committed.
I can only get McCardle to stump up expenses. If I can only get McCardle to stump up expenses.
McCardle? Who's McCardle?
My news editor. And Gladys. If only Gladys could see me now.
You'll go, young fella, if I have to stump up expenses myself. By George, I never knew scientific meetings were such lively places, or I'd have come to one long ago. And now, young fella, shake hands.
Shake hands?
To the lost world.
To the lost world.
That night, wearied as I was after the wonderful happenings of the day, I sat with Mr. McCardle explaining to him the whole situation, which he thought important enough to bring to the notice of Sir George Beaumont, our newspaper chief. He agreed that I should be allowed to go on the expedition as the Gazette's representative. There followed such a period of confusion and bustle as I made my preparations for the journey that I barely had a moment to reflect on the enormity of the step that I had taken until some 2 weeks later, when I found myself facing a wet and glistening dockside in the shadow of the great liner which was to take our expedition to South America. My reflections were soon interrupted, however, by the arrival of my two companions.
Well, young fella, so we're off at long last. And I must confess that I can't wait to get to this lost world of old challengers.
Neither can I.
Have either of you gentlemen had any dealings with the great man since the night of the lecture?
Well, my paper rang him only to be told that he would hand us our last-minute directions just before we left. When I rang to get more information, he abused me roundly, then abused the press in general, and ended up by shattering his telephone receiver.
Well, I'm as much in the dark as you are. I just had a note to say he'd be seeing us all.
I, too, had a similar communication. And here, if I am not mistaken, comes the great humbug himself.
Well, gentlemen, I'm glad to see you all here. I had imagined that the learned professor might have got cold feet.
Well, I really...
Now, I have only a few words to say to you. Firstly, I beg you not to imagine that I am in any way indebted to you for making this journey. Truth is truth, and nothing you report can affect it in any way, although it may excite the emotions and allay the curiosity of a number of very ineffectual people. My directions for your instruction and guidance are in this sealed envelope. You will open it when you reach a town upon the Amazon which is called Manaus, but not until the date and hour which is written on the outside.
Oh, really, I must protest it.
Protest as much as you like. It will do you no good. Now, have I made myself clear? You do not open the envelope until the date and hour which is written on the outside. Here, Lord John, you take it.
Thanks.
I leave the observance of my conditions entirely to your honor. Yes, Malone, what are you fidgeting about?
Well, sir, about my reports. I am anxious.
Mr. Malone, I will place no restrictions upon your reports, since the ventilation of the facts is the object of your journey. But I demand that you shall give no particulars as to your exact destination, and that nothing be actually published until you return.
Very well, Professor.
Now, goodbye, sir. You have done something to mitigate my feelings for the loathsome profession to which you so unhappily belong. Goodbye, Lord John. Science is, as I understand it, a sealed book to you, but you may congratulate yourself upon the hunting field which awaits you. Goodbye to you, Professor. If you are still capable of self-improvement, which I very much doubt, you will return to London a wiser man. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Professor Challenger.
Really? That man is insufferable.
I would not bore those who listen to my story with an account of our luxurious voyage upon the liner, nor will I tell of our week's stay at Para, or of our journey up the wide, slow-moving river in a steamer. Eventually, we found ourselves through the narrows of Obidos and reached the town of Manaus. Here we were rescued from the limited attractions of the local inn by the representative of the British and Brazilian Trading Company. In his hospitable fazenda, we spent our time until the day when we were empowered to open our letter of instruction.
Well, gentlemen, the time is almost here, as you see. Instructions to Lord John Roxton to be opened at Manaus upon July the 15th at 12 o'clock precisely. We've just 1 minute to go.
What difference can it possibly make if we open it now or in 1 minute? It's all part and parcel of the quackery and nonsense for which I regret to say the writer is notorious.
Well, the old dear is very precise. I think perhaps we'd better wait.
He is also thousands of miles away, while we are here on a wild goose chase.
Oh, come on now. Play the game. It's his show. It'd be rotten bad form if we didn't follow his instructions to the letter.
A pretty business this is. It struck me as preposterous in London, and it seems even more so now. I don't know what is inside this envelope, but unless it's something pretty definite, I shall commence the return journey to London immediately.
Oh, come now. Professor Challenger won't let us down, I'm sure. The envelope no doubt contains a map and instructions.
I hope so. But surely it's time now.
Time it is. Now, let's see. Well, there's just one sheet of paper. Good God. It's blank.
Ah, I knew it. It's an open admission. What more do you want? The fellow's a self-confessed humbug. We have but to return home and expose him for the brazen impostor that he is.
Perhaps something is written on it in invisible ink.
Sorry, young fella. There's no use deceiving ourselves. It's all off.
It can't be. Look, perhaps there's been a...
May I come in?
God. Oh,
God.
Well, I'll be damned.
I fear that I'm a few minutes late. When I gave you this envelope, it was my intention to be with you before the hour. I never intended that you should open it. Well, gentlemen, you seem surprised to see me.
Well, I am bound to say, sir, that your turning up is a considerable relief. But I can't for the life of me see why you should have worked it in such an extraordinary manner.
Because, gentlemen, there is really only one person who is qualified to lead this expedition, and that person is myself. Now, is all ready for the journey?
Yes, sir. I've engaged 2 half-breeds from Para, one of whom speaks English. His name's Gomez. They'll act as servants, make themselves generally useful. Besides these, I've hired 3 McHugh Indians from the river tribe, and a hulking great fella called Zambo. Should be pretty useful. The equipment's been checked, rechecked. We've a steam launch to take us up the river.
Mm-hmm. What about canoes?
We have canoes. In fact, we could start tomorrow, if need be.
I see. And now, gentlemen, I feel that the time has come to let you know a little more of the background to this expedition, so that you can see exactly what you've let yourselves in for. I suggest that you gather round this table and listen carefully. Well, some years ago, I made a journey to South America. It was my business to visit the little-known back country and investigate some of the hitherto unexplored tributaries which run into the main river in order to examine fauna for my great work on zoology. I was returning, my wealth accomplished, when I had occasion to spend the night at a small Indian village. The natives were Kukama Indians, an amiable but degraded race, with mental powers hardly superior to the average Londoner. Imagine my surprise when, on entering this village, I was immediately taken to a small hut. There, to my amazement, I discovered the body of a white man who had but recently expired.
Oh, Lord. Well, how did he get there?
And kindly have the goodness not to interrupt, sir.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
He was clad in rags, very emaciated, and bore every trace of prolonged hardship. As far as I could gather, he was a complete stranger to the natives, and had only recently arrived in the village, in the last stage of exhaustion. From the contents of the man's knapsack, it was obvious to me that he was an artist and a poet. His name was Maple White, an American, it seems. Well, the knapsack contained scraps of verse which I must say appeared to me to be singularly lacking in merit. And there were also some rather commonplace pictures. Such were the total effects of this strange American behemoth.
Good Lord.
I was turning away from him when I noticed something projecting from his jacket. It was this sketchbook, which I now hand to you and ask you to examine page by page. Carefully now. I can assure you that this book is as valuable to me as the first folio of Shakespeare.
Eagerly watched by my companions, I opened the volume with some expectation. The first page was disappointing, however. It contained nothing but a picture of a fat man in a pea jacket with the legend Jimmy Culver on the mailboat. There followed several pages filled with sketches of Indians. Glancing around, I could tell by their expressions that Lord John and Professor Summerlee felt as disappointed as I did.
Really, Challenger, what nonsense is this? These are just a collection of rather mediocre sketches, and of no scientific use whatsoever.
Shh. Try the next page.
Huh? What on earth? Good Lord. It's the most extraordinary creature I've ever seen.
Isn't it? Head of a fowl, body of a bloated lizard. That trailing tail. What do you think of that?
Well, it's monstrous. Grotesque. Well, what made him draw such an animal?
Trade gin, I think.
And that's the best explanation you can give, is it?
Well, what's yours?
The obvious one. That the creature exists.
One thing puzzles me. This tiny human figure in the foreground. Could it be evidence of a pygmy race, perhaps?
Wonderful. Look here. You see that plant behind the animal? What do you think that is? A Brussels sprout? Damn it, man. It's an ivory palm. They grow to 60 feet. Don't you see? That figure was put there for a purpose. He was put there to give the scale of height.
Oh, God, then the creature must be as big as Charing Cross Station.
Exactly. Now look at this. Here's an illustration from a monograph by Professor Lancaster. Probable appearance in life of the Jurassic dinosaur Stegosaurus.
Yes, there certainly is a resemblance.
It might, of course, be coincidence, The American may have seen a picture of this kind and carried it in his memory. It would be likely to recur to a man in a delirium.
Well, now, look at this bone. What known creature does that belong?
I must confess that it is unfamiliar to me.
Well, you needn't be ashamed of your ignorance. I don't suppose the whole staff of the South Kensington Museum could give a name to it.
But bones can be faked quite easily, I believe.
Ah! You can take it from me that it belongs to a creature which exists upon the face of the earth, and which has not yet come under the notice of science. Oh, very well, I can see that you're still unconvinced. Now, let me continue my story. We will leave the dead American and continue. You can imagine that I could hardly come away from the Amazon without probing deeper into the matter. There were indications as to the direction from which the dead man had come, and I also found that rumors of a strange land were common among all the riverine tribes. You have no doubt heard of Kurupuri.
No, sir. Kurupuri is the spirit of the woods. It's something evil.
Exactly. Well, all the tribes agree as to the direction where Kurupuri lives. It was the same direction from which the American had come. Eventually, I managed to persuade 2 of the tribesmen to become my guides, and after many adventures, which I need not describe, I came at last to that country which has never been described or indeed visited by any other man except the unfortunate Maple White, the dead American. Here, look at this photograph.
It's certainly discolored and blurred.
Yes, the unsatisfactory appearance is due to the fact that on descending the river, the boat was upset and nearly all my photographs were ruined.
How very unfortunate.
Just a moment. Those cliffs, like an enormous waterfall, aren't they the same as in the picture of the monster?
Well done. Yes, it is the same place. I found traces of the fellow's cap. Now, look at this photograph. Again, somewhat blurred, I'm afraid, Professor Summerlee. Do you see the tree-crowned pinnacle of rock there?
Yes, I see it. Well, just about.
Do you observe something on that tree? Look. There.
By George, it looks like a large bird.
Where? Let me see. Oh, yes. Yes, I see it. It's a pelican, surely.
It is not a pelican, nor is it a bird. It may interest you to know that I succeeded in shooting that specimen, and I was able to bring it away with me.
You have it here, then?
No. It was unfortunately lost in the same boat accident which ruined my photograph.
Dear me, what a remarkable coincidence.
However, I do have part of its wing, and this I now lay before you.
It's part of a monstrous bat.
Nothing of the sort. Here, in Lancaster's book, this picture is an excellent reproduction of the pterodactyl. On the next page is a diagram of the mechanism of its wing. Now kindly compare that, gentlemen, with the specimen on the table before you.
Good Lord. Right. It's exactly the same.
It would certainly appear to be similar, but...
fiddlesticks.
But surely, Professor, with such conclusive evidence, you had only to lay all this before the proper authorities.
Yes, so in my simplicity I had imagined. And I was called a liar and a shout.
What happened after you shot the bird? That terrier thing. Here, pass over the picture, Malone. I'd like a closer look.
Pterodactyl. Well, it was the wet season, and my stores were all but exhausted. I explored some portion of this huge cliff.
You see another trace of life?
No, but we heard some strange noises while we camped at the base of the cliff.
But what about the creature the American drew?
Well, we can only suppose he must have made his way to the summit, seen it, and drawn it later. We know, therefore, that there is a way up.
We know, Professor Challenger, precisely nothing. Here we are, asked to believe in the existence of a lost world inhabited by prehistoric monsters, purely on the basis of a few blurred photographs, unfortunately ruined in a boating accident, a piece of bat's wing, the rest of that unfortunate creature having been lost in the same boating accident, some drawings made by an American artist in a delirium, and a few supposed noises at the base of a supposed cliff in this supposed lost world.
You also have my words.
Yes, we do, sir. And may I remind you that it is your word, sir, that we have come here to verify. It would seem to me that this whole thing, including your magician-like appearance among us, is merely a last-minute attempt to turn us back.
Blast your impudence, sir. And you other gentlemen, what do you think?
Well, I'm not so sure. Things seem different in London. There's many a man there who keeps his experiences to himself for fear of being disbelieved.
Malone?
I don't know. I'm so confused. The evidence seems irrefutable, and yet... Tell me, Professor, this land, these monsters, how do they come to be there?
Well, South America is a granite continent. At this single point in the interior, there has been, in some far distant age, a great sudden volcanic upheaval. These cliffs are basaltic, and therefore plutonic. An area as large, perhaps, as Sussex, has been lifted en bloc with all its living contents and cut off by precipices of a hardness which defies erosion. The ordinary laws of nature have thus been suspended, and creatures have survived which would otherwise have disappeared.
Amazing. Fantastic.
Poppycock! I still maintain that this whole elaborate subterfuge is merely an attempt to put us off at the last moment from exposing you, sir, as a humbug.
Indeed, Summerlee, it is nothing of the kind. For we leave at first light tomorrow morning for the lost world.